No, but this holds 4 weeks. No, that's actually a robust thing. It's not only a catchy eye thing. It's the fact that if you take breath, it's just after 2 weeks you run into a door or something like that. So with this, and when it's like this, yeah. So it's just a question of practicing my voice. Yeah. Yeah, me too. I'm like you. Yes. I remember that. And water was in my office. I think we ate a cake.
Test, test. Ok, c'est bon. Good morning, dear guests. Good morning. Before welcoming our guests here, I would like us to jointly welcome the class of MSS18 who are nicely waiting outside to come in. So if maybe somebody from the back can give a sign to Maria, please join me in welcoming the graduating class of MSS18, which is supposed to come down the stairs. I don't know how to fill it up. So that looks like a few familiar faces. So thank you very much. With everybody here in the room, let me welcome all of you, dear guests, friends, colleagues, of course also family, or shall I say sponsors of ISU. We have a number of important guests today, which I would like to briefly introduce. In the first place, we have Professor Ehrenfreund from DLR, who is here, to be clear, also mainly in her function as Vice Chancellor of ISU. Then we also have an interesting, very nice delegation from the French counterpart agency, from CNES, with Lionel Suchet. We know each other for many years, from Russia. We had some adventures there, which we will not say here in public because this is webcasted, Lionel, so I'm not going to talk about it. Lionel Suchet is official title CEO of CNES, but in fact I think the more popular way of saying it is number 2 of CNES. I think that's maybe an easier way to remember it. He's also accompanied by Dr. Gilles Rabin, who is recently nominated Director of Innovation in CNES. And we're also happy to have Dr. Christophe Vernet with us, who is going to be our new Board of Trustees representative from CNES. As every year, we have the immense pleasure to have Madame Trautmann here, who is the very driving power behind ISU here in Strasbourg, to say the least. I didn't have even more appropriate wording, but everybody knows what you have done for ISU. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we have Alain Wagner, the Vice President of the Board. As I said, there are many other friends. I'm not going to name them all, but I'm going to take the privilege to welcome somebody who is very dear to me, which I see here in the audience, Professor François Becker, who is the Dean Emeritus of ISU and was the first one who founded this master thing. So François, thank you for being here. It's now a few years already that I'm standing here, and to be very honest, the view, if you look into the room, is always a little bit the same. It's what the French call déjà vu. There's also, I think, a psychological term. And what is my déjà vu? My déjà vu is that I see a few rows of smiling students. And that's, they are labeled MSS18. Some of them are trying to control their joy that they can be relieved tonight. It's a poor effort what you're doing. One can see on your faces that you're on the one hand, I think, you're happy. But on the other hand, I think also many of you say, where were these 12 months? They went so fast. It's unbelievable. And then after that, you have a class which is going to start. And what you see in their eyes is different. You see a slight horror in their eyes. Now let me explain, and I must say I am, to a large extent, I am fault of this. The noble idea that we had is to network both of you. So to network MSS18 with MSS19. What we did not realize is that before a certain American started to tweet it, you found out what is fake news. So what is your social media fake news at the moment? Watch out for Professor X. Professor Y is trying to fail you in the exam. Professor Z you have to avoid. No, that's all fake news. But they're going to try it. We know it. So we created it here. We thought that networking was a very important element, so that the previous class could tell the class which is coming in what is expected from them and what they did. And by the way, networking and knowledge transfer, to give it a very nice word, is not MSS18. It is not telling MSS19 students how you get blindfolded from here to the Irish pub downtown. That is not what we mean by networking. Yes? So please be sure that there are also other elements being brought. This networking, the fact that you have to work together with different disciplines on one project, is even going to be accumulating and very strong during the phase which is called the team project. Because you will never be able to make a team project without the help of the other ones. Because we want you to cover all the aspects, and that's where you have to learn to interface the lawyer with the engineer, with the physicist, with the medical doctor. That's what you're going to learn. What you're going to learn is what you will do afterwards also in the space sector. So use it. Now the space sector, as you know, has changed a lot over the last 50-60 years. And what we have now is what we call so nicely the new space economy, which means that we have data available, and with these data, young entrepreneurs can combine the data into an application that has a certain market value. And I'm very happy that with the help of the Eurometropole and also with the help of CNES, we are going to be able to help you in that. We are going to install here an incubator, and we're going to install here a booster which will be opened this afternoon officially. And the reason is that whilst we train you to become an entrepreneur, we also want to go a step further and help you to become an entrepreneur in the beginning phase. So that is something which I'm very happy, which is a new milestone in ISU, and I'm pleased to have been able to be there initiating it. So MSS18, you have several opportunities to stay in touch with ISU. For those who want, why not? If you have a brilliant idea, tell us and we'll look at it if we can help you at a startup. Next year we have the SSP here in Strasbourg. We're always looking for TAs, and I hope some of you will take the opportunity to say, well, nice to go next summer back to Strasbourg. And of course, for all of you, our doors are always open. So please, whenever you're in the area, please come back. Don't say it was 12 months and I forget it. Please, we want news from you. We want to know what you're doing, and we want to see you back. And MSS19, hereby again welcome, and do us a favor, please do not listen to the fake news of MSS18. So with that, we're going to concentrate on MSS18, and I'm going to ask the director of the MSS program, Chris Welsh, Professor Chris Welsh, to lead this ceremony. Professor Welsh?
Well, good morning, everybody. It seems these ceremonies come round even quicker each year, but then the students seem to get younger each year. Maybe that's just me getting older. So, Mr. President, President-elect, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, students, new students, friends, family, supporters, welcome to the graduation for MSS18. It's going to be a slightly complicated process, so I'll walk you through it to start off with. First of all, there will be people who are here in the room who are graduating, and they will come down to the front, and I will shake their hand, I will give them their pin, they will get their certificate, and they will be photographed. Then there are some people who are graduating, but for various reasons can't be here, so I will announce those. Hopefully they may be watching on the webcast. Then, because this year we have a higher than usual number of students doing extended internships, we also have some people here who are not actually graduating today. They will graduate in December. So they, nevertheless, will come down here. I will shake their hands, but I will not give them a pin. So, in case you're wondering, oh, that's strange, does he not like that group, and why are they not getting it? It's because you get the pin when you graduate, and that won't be until December. But they will nevertheless get the, the handshake and the photo opportunity here. But they won't actually get their diplomas and certificates until they pass in December. And so, and then finally we have some Year B thesis students who are graduating who are also not here, but whose names I will announce. So let's start off with the people in the building. I will also announce whether they are cum laude and if they have won a prize. I should say the prize giving will actually take place in the Space Pioneers Hall, after this ceremony. So we will go out there and there will be a special mini event there. It's quite important that that you all focus on that event. Because one, we're acknowledging the people who won the prizes, but also the reception doesn't open until the prize winning is over. So no food and drink until the prize winning's done. So, it's in your own interests, so focus. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to now invite down the MSS18A students graduating this year, starting with Sabrina Alam.
Congratulations to me.
Sonal Babawal.
Congratulations to me.
Anna Cristina Baltazar Garduno. MSS cum laude, James Bultitude. MSS cum laude and winner of the Initiative for Interstellar Studies Prize, Zachary Burkhardt. Chen Ji. Chen Chagran. Esnagusa. Gu Wenhua. Susan Higashio. Hu Wenjing. Winner of the Hypatia Prize, Huang Shan. James Hurrell. Elizabeth Kumi. King Kumir. Joshua Lalonde. Samuel Knife. Kunal Naik. Michelle Noguez Keon. Oh yes, and she's reminded me, my apologies, also the winner of the Association of Space Explorers Prize. Anissa Qureshi. Tang Bai Tao. Yuan Yuan. So now we have two students who are graduating today but who are not here. Okay, so we recognize the graduation of Aravind Ravichandran and Omkar Nikam. Now we come to the group who, sorry, no pins. Remember, I am the program director. I'm paid to be mean. That's why I wear black. Message for the new class. That is where I wear black. So, in order then, Robert Bernard. December. Nicholas Breckermacher. Antoni Kayezo. Vincent Delaya. Chaitanya Gopal. Winner of the Manx Precision Optics Prize, René Horacio Michel Valencia. Grégoire Nimmo. Kwasi Nkansa. Christos Antinos. Armando Rojas Gomez. Vittorio Rossello. Rishank Singh. That's the end of the presentations, but we have 3 more students to acknowledge who are graduating in absentia. They are MSS18B thesis students. They are all graduating cum laude, all 3 of them. So we have Arif Gotu Karakalioglu, Stan Kaithler, and Peter Toro. Congratulations to all 3 of them. So that concludes the MSS18 graduation. It's now my duty and my honor to hand over to the MS18 student representatives, René and Yuan, who will give you their view of the year here at ISU. René and Yuan.
Hi. Hola, hola. Hope you enjoy this.
Good morning to everybody, friends, professors, and family new students.
Good morning to everybody. We're pleased to be here, and we have too many reasons to be here, right, Joan?
Yes. For example, we are meeting our friends after 3-month internships. We are starting a new period in our lives, new projects, and new jobs. And some of us are finally going home.
Yeah, that's true for some of us. We are also happy to be here giving the final speech. That is something that is definitely going to our CVs and email signatures.
Yes. First of all, thanks Franz and Ms. Catherine Trotman, Vice President of the Euro Metropolis of Strasbourg. Although this year was full of complaints about the French way of doing things, we thank France and Strasbourg for hosting us for a year, for making food hard to pronounce, and in a way, dreams come true. That is why we say, Merci France, Merci Strasbourg.
And of course, congratulations to France for winning the cup. And to Croatia for winning our hearts and the world. We could start this speech by mentioning some coffee price anecdotes. But who will serve us the coffee? Or anatomy lessons that were so memorable that we learned to admire Volker's passion and dedication. Lectures that remind us that we are stardust and inspire us to look for life beyond our hills and atmospheres. We could start listing anecdotes of policy and law, but we don't have the French accent needed to do so.
Actually, there are a lot of things we all remember from the Galaxy lecture room that even before listing them, we should create the learning outcomes. See if it works. If not, iterate and iterate in a systematic and engineering way.
However, Joan, at some point we have to ask, what is the application of all this listing?
Maybe it is just a way of sensing some remote memories we want to broadcast today, hoping that it will help us to navigate our lives. We could also start this speech with the quote by the Chinese poet Li Bai, 忽复乘舟梦日边, 行路难，行路难，多歧路，今安在? Where's your destination?
Wait. Let me read it in English first.
Okay.
Suddenly on board of a boat I seem to be, dreaming my way to the capital, am I. What a journey, such a trying journey, so full of forked paths before. Now, where are the ways?
Where's your destination? How much longer you have to walk? We have learned to see that everyone has a different reason to be here and an unusual truth to follow. That was particularly revealed during the team projects. It was frustrating at first. Maybe it was frustrated the whole time. All depends on how each person decides to take it. When team projects and individual projects occur together with assignments, exams, and social life, they make us know that we suffer, we work, and at the end, we conquer. Sometimes we thought we wouldn't make it. We thought we were not capable of handling so many things in such a short time. We heard the annual motivation phrase that these kids were the worst MSS ever. But when all was completed and the work submitted, especially the TP, it turned out we survived and grew towards the best MSS ever.
Now your punchline.
Well, proving that sometimes democracy has to be reconsidered.
We can start this speech in China. We have classmates that introduce mooncakes and legends, and we're always ready to explain Chinese politics, economics, culture to whoever was keen enough to ask. Then we could jump to our Indian fellows, a mixture of music, humor, and photography, always ready to tell us the Indian version of everything. Nevertheless, it is hard to talk about music without mentioning the rhythms that were born in Zimbabwe, traveled through forest and ocean to become fado in Portugal, or mentioned in the Middle East. The saying goes that wherever there is a crowd clapping, Middle Eastern people start dancing.
Or we could start this speech in Greece, like almost our civilizations. Did you know that 60% of the English words are borrowed from Latin or Greek? So pay attention when your Greek friends correct your pronunciation. Speak of Latin, I'm pretty sure that nobody will forget the free pasta and coffee provided by our Italian friends.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. Or better yet, the barbecue provided by a Serbian heart. Yes, our university is a cocktail of nationalities. We also had gentle classmates from France and even from Paris.
There are many ways in which we could have started this speech, by naming the English-speaking countries like the US, the UK, and Australia. I don't want to mention Canada because I will have to repeat everything in French. Or by naming countries that speak the most beautiful, sweet, and picante language. Esos países son Bolivia, Colombia, México, y España.
Well, MSS18, we made it. And ISU is very considerate to us and tries to help us remember the bittersweetness in every assignment, IP, and TP, so that after 3 months or 6 months of internships, we are asked to deliver another report to close the year. It helps us to experience the physics of theater of cruelty and understand the meaning of all things in nature are related to culture. We finished the program. We're in trouble now. ISU has a peculiar curriculum that teaches tools that are not found in any engineering, business, and medical schools. ISU provided us with a set of skills to allow us to better understand the whole industry as a whole. That is why we're in trouble, because now we have to keep working, keep learning, and choosing the path we want to follow.
We are in trouble. We finished ISU, which is a big deal. People will expect some level of understanding of a vast variety of topics. On the other hand, we conclude ISU. Big deal. We can put as many diplomas on our walls as we want. As the song goes, parto lisa kai canto cornisa. Take the diploma and frame it on the wall. A flute, a violin, and a guitar. 3 different ways of producing sounds. 3 different understanding of the technique, the exercise. And where the guitar fails, the violin shines. And where the violin rests, the flute flies. And when the flute and the violin wants to perform a solo, the guitar walks with them, taking care of all the harmony.
After this year, we understand that we are either a violin, a flute, or guitar. For example, I came to ISU with some years of experience in the industry. However, that was not enough. Here, I had to learn how to play with the violin, the guitar, or with the whole orchestra. And even though we all had our expertise and the notion of interdisciplinary, only after 1 year, I think I was able to leave the concept and extract my ideas for the industry. MSS18, are you ready to face the new challenges? MSS19, are you prepared to follow our path?
We conquered ISU. It is done. Life is not a set of learning outcomes anymore. Life is a set of opportunities to create a better future. Now our responsibility is to use space technology to improve every bottle of wine, every traffic jam, every ocean, sea, and sun. Make education and health available for every single town, starting in the countries we mentioned before, then going for Earth and beyond. Life is our piano of opportunities, and we are a set of priorities. ISU exposes us to new realities. What kind of music are we willing to compose?
Life is movement. Life has a kickstart, a peak, and an ending. Our ISU life as students started with a rocket competition. Some rockets reached a high altitude. Others got lost. Some got contact with legacies from previous years. We had our work peak with the 2 team projects, stayed night after night at this very campus to get work done. We had other special moments, like the robot competition that enriched our imagination. The powerful arms might not grab the gems, but they caught our hearts. That is why it led us to explore more and helped 3 of us to finding their interest. Now, our ending is not a goodbye, but a big thank you to the whole ISU faculty. Sorry.
Lech lecha. Go for you. Solía caminar por el río, un poco vestido de nieve. La luna se sonrojaba y me susurrava al verde. La mizia passa per i rami, di su luce col passare degli anni, con la sensazione di un morbido ritornerà. E anche se giurano che c'è un domani, che il tempo ci svola tra le mie mani, niente importa se vive la nostra mizia. Those never-ending assignments to work on reshape your role. You're not the same. Either value them or think they are gone, because they are either to treasure or to frame.
Thank you very
much.
So MSS19, you heard the challenge. This was the best MSS class, at least that's what they pretend themselves. So there's only one thing you can do, is be better next year. So, and that's what we're looking forward to. For those of MSS18 who got not an empty envelope and were surprised about it, the other ones got a nicely signed diploma from the Vice Chancellor, who is standing here next to me. Professor Pascal Ehrenfreund. Professor Ehrenfreund was and is still a very well-known scientist in the field of astrobiology. Afterwards, she switched over, not really, but making a sort of policy or a path, roadmap for exploration. She got more into the policy area at George Washington University, where she stayed a few years and is still a professor, and keeps, though, having a lot of works in the field of the origin of life and extrabiology and astrobiology. She is also very fond of Macintosh, which is explaining explaining the problems of the moment. So please welcome with me your Vice Chancellor, also for next year, Professor Pascal Ehrenfreund. Thank you very much.
I hope that works. Yeah, does it work? Thank you very much, for this nice presentation. It is obvious that you had fun and that you also inspire, the next class, which is just sitting behind and is just starting. So I just have 10 minutes and I wanted to show you some really very recent experiments and pictures from the International Space Station. Also because I know that the ISU is contributing with the IceCube experiments to this research field in the very near future. So as you know, Alexander Gerst, the European astronaut with German passport, I have to be always very careful to say that, yeah, he has started his second mission to the International Space Station on the 6th of June. I was so lucky to be in Kazakhstan at 40 degrees in the shadow and accompany him to the rocket. It's actually really very exciting there. So he will be 6 months on the International Space Station until the 13th of December this year. And he will conduct a lot of experiments, of course, experiments together with the German industry and universities and with our research facilities in DLR, but also, of course, internationally. And he will be on the 3rd of October, he will take over and be the commander, the first German passport astronaut commander on the International Space Station for the last 3 months, and we are of course very proud of it. And as you know, you are preparing by yourself experiments for the space station. They range from basic to applied research to technology demonstrations. And they range from material science to medicine, astrophysics, and so much more. And of course, they also inspire our youth. So I have actually a week of 3 in-flight calls with Alexander Gerst. Our minister came to visit DLR. We had an in-flight call yesterday. I was with 1,000 children and an in-flight call, and this was really, really noisy. And there were about, 1,200 paper flyers which are going to the room, and balloons, and so really to inspire the next generation. And on the weekend, there will be the German president who will talk to Alexander Gerst. So it's an exciting time. I want to briefly show you 3 slides of very recent experiments. Simon is the first experiment for artificial intelligence. It's a 32 centimeter device which will actually monitor and help to record all the experiments and will accompany Alexander Gerst and actually test the human-robotic interaction. It is in collaboration with Airbus and DLR. And I think it is a very important experiment which will show us the future of artificial intelligence also and its benefits to Earth. And we had another very interesting tele-robotic experiment, which was just happening 10 days ago. Meteoron sub with Justin. This is one of our robots in Oberpfaffenhofen in DLR. And Alexander Gerst, you see him here. I have, I think, a laser pointer. You see him here with a tablet, actually really looking at giving commands to the robot in DLR in Oberpfaffenhofen. And actually it's difficult to see in this light, but he's trying there is a little fire and there is an emergency situation, and he's trying to give commands to Justin in order to save the situation. And that is a series of experiments in collaboration with ESA, which has already over several years, and it's getting always more complex. And these are very exciting experiments for telerobotics, which of course also help for the future activities on Earth. And I want still to mention medicine. There are so many experiments also just right now, which Alexander Gerst is doing in the context of space medicine, and which really help to boost global health, be it to understand aging processes, or looking at our body, our entire body, the immune system, the bones, the muscles, also the mental state, and also, of course, training and rehabilitation, because, as you know, astronauts have to do a lot of exercise in space. And there's just one experiment which I want to show, myotone, which is really looking at the skeletal muscles with a new technique, non-invasive portable device, which is tested there in the environment of the space station, and something which we can probably use on Earth also in clinical practice, and has other objectives to optimize rehabilitation in clinical studies also here on Earth. So these are a few pictures I want to end with. We have a magazine which you can go online, and also, of course, in the ESA website. This is when Alexander Gerst said he's cleaning on Saturday morning, always doing cleaning tasks with a cappuccino. So that's what they have to do as well. And then also emergency training. And as you know, this is something which is important. You have also probably read in the press about it, this has to be done regularly, and this was also happening a few days ago. And the first some pictures, of Europe, showing the enormous dryness in August. As you remember, we had a record high summer, high temperature summer, and you see really a little bit of devastated landscape. And In this context, I just want to mention that we at DLR, we built the first high-resolution Earth observation experiment instrument, which was just put into service on the International Space Station on the American MSS system. MSS is a platform about 85 times 85 centimeters from Teledyne Brown, and 4 instruments can be hosted there. We put the first instrument there, hyperspectral imager with a ground resolution of 30 meters, and it's called DAISYS. And these are the first pictures. Really, they are still not released, but you can see them. It is actually pictures over about Texas, in the area of Texas. And this instrument is now commissioned. It's the first Earth observation instrument which is on the outside of the space station, actually monitoring Earth. So, and I just want to remind you that, you know, with all the experiments which we do on the International Space Station, but all the activities, we really strongly support directly and indirectly the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And we had a very successful meeting of Unispace Plus 50 in June, which you certainly know about. And it's particular, really a very important space here, also with the ISU coming up in Bremen in a few weeks from now. And I want to end with a video which we put together for the space station, which should give you some inspiration.
Now on the International Space Station.
This was a snapshot of the Horizon mission. Congratulations to MS18 and inspiration for MS19. Thank you.
So thank you for this very inspiring talk. By the way, talking about the space station and talking about my previous fake news, I don't know if somebody heard that there is now fake news going around that some astronauts are drilling holes in the space station to get it coming down earlier. So you can imagine how far fake news can really go beyond any imagination virtually. So as most of you know, today I have, I must say it's an honor for me to transfer my tasks as president to a friend of mine, and that's always very pleasant if you can liaise as well as I can with my successor. So Juan de Dalmau has been elected by the board to be the next president for the next few years. And in order to do this transition, the vice president of the board, who is also vice president of Airbus Space and Defense, I refuse to say defense and space, who is also, by the way, an MSS alumni from MSS98. Probably that was the best MSS class. I don't know. So he will do the honor and let's say introduce this transfer process. Thank you very much, Alain.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back at ISU. Madame la Ministre, chère Catherine Trontmann, Monsieur le Consul de Chine, Mr. Lin, ni hao, Madame Professeur Pascal Ehrenfreund, Guten Morgen, cher Lionel Suchet, Gilles Rabin et Christophe Venet, bonjour. And I would like also to greet François Becker, who was Dean at ISU and one of my teachers. I hope you don't have bad memories from me. So hi everyone, as the president of ISU said, I am Alain Wagner, I work for Airbus and I am on the board of trustees. I would like first to convey the apologies of Chris Salaberger, president of the board of trustees, who could not make it. He has important appointment with customers today and well, customer first. So again, very sorry he could not make it. He would have loved to be here with you. Before we organize the transition ceremony, I would like to share a few remarks with you about space. In which domain can you make huge contributions to climate change, environment monitoring, mobility, weather forecasts, management of resource, security of citizens? In which domain, if not space? So by passion, by strategic thinking, or by chance, you have chosen a fantastic domain, space. Moreover, you arrive at very interesting times. All economic sectors are now using space. There is not a single profession, there is not a single economic sector where you are not using space, and most of the public policy implementation is relying on space, as was shown by Pascal Ehrenfreund, in particular with the sustainable development objectives. The tempo of space is accelerating. We have more and more private investors. We are using 40 satellites per day with our cell phones today, synchronization of network, international use, maps, weather forecasts, you name it, 40 satellites you have been using 40 satellites today with your smartphone. So space is accelerating with a new space arrival, development of new services. It's really an interesting time for the newcomers in space. Yet, make no mistake, space remains very institutional. If I add up all the space budget in the world, they amount to some 80 billion euros, to be compared to the commercial market, launchers, satellites, equipment, which amounts only to 8 billion so far. So space remains very institutional, with only 10% of the activities are actually commercial. That's important, and that's quite normal, because you have to make science in space, meteorology, defense, and a lot of what I would say institutional activities. We have also a downstream value chain. Downstream value chain encompasses ground receivers, high-value applications that probably amount to 350 billion euro, and it's really skyrocketing with a tentacular growth, going in any direction, and this is also an area where commercial activities are taking over with a big growth. Now I would of course, congratulate the previous master students. Congratulations, you made it. Now you have some challenges in front of you, like discovering exoplanets, gravitational waves, dark matter and energy, securing frequencies for space in the next conference for radio frequencies, smart space logistics, you name it. You have a lot of work in front of you, but have fun and keep the network going. I would also like to welcome the new master students. I was in your shoes in '97 with great expectations, a lot of passion, but also some stress, and I feel, and I'm not too, there is some stress, but that's good. Stress will be good for you to share different ways of solving problems, meeting colleagues from all over the world with very different mindsets. So be ready for a big shock, but enjoy the journey. I would personally be ready to do it again. I don't know if you can do twice a master, but I would really love to do one again. Last but not least, Walter, I would like to take this opportunity to call you on stage. I would of course like to warmly thank you for your action to lead ISU over many years. You sometimes had to lead us through troubled waters, some rough situation, but now we have a university with a sound financial situation, no debt, a very nice building, no leaks so far, a growing community of ISU students, a big network of alumni. This is a strong value of this university. We have a great faculty, we have great visiting lecturers. You made it, congratulations. There are no words, especially with my broken English, so I would like to make a gift on behalf of the whole ISU community and to present you with this medal of the university. So you can take a picture. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, Walter. And you also offer to the students an opportunity to create startups, to help startups, and maybe to find specific internships in startups. So congratulations again, great job. And I know you were bitten by the space virus, so you will anyway stay in the community, I'm sure. Thank you very much. Former president means there is a new president. I had the difficult opportunity as a VP of the Board of Trustees to chair the President Selection Committee. So I did it the ISU way. I gathered a community of 3 people, very diverse people, diverse origins, to choose the next president. We posted an application request in the news, and we got lots of applications, very high-level people exemplifying the good reputation of the university. We had a lot of good candidates, good applicants, with offering great skill, great opportunity for the university, but we had to select only a few and to make a proposal to the Board of Trustees, and the Board of Trustees in the end made the final decision. And the winner is, I don't have an envelope like in these movie ceremonies. The winner is Juan de Dalmor, who is sitting on the next floor, and you will on the first, and he will have the opportunity to introduce himself later. So I don't want to spoil your pitch, but you are really a good friend of ISU, a supporter of ISU. You have a 3I careers of several decades in space. You worked in Kourou in a very operational position. If I am not mistaken, you were the first non-French citizen to be director of operation to launch an Ariane rocket, so that's quite something. You created an incubator in Spain and startups. That's also a very interesting experience in the new space context. And you have been in charge of communications activities at ESTEC in the European Space Agency. So a broad expertise, a very big network, and definitely a very strong supporter of ISU. So you can count on us, you can count on the board of trustees to stand by you to develop the university and in a three-eye spirit of the three founders to grow this university to uncharted territories. I was a bit too long, so I have now to issue an executive summary. So my executive summary is space is a place to be, hence ISU is a place to be. Thank you for your attention.
Bonjour. Guten Morgen. Ni hao. Buenos días. Dobre utro. Since we are in a multicultural environment, I would like to explain that there is, at least in English, an expression that says, and that many people are telling me, Juan, you will have to fit in Walter's shoes, meaning you have a tough job. And I must admit that I forgot to ask Walter, what is your shoe size? Maybe I should have started before I even applied. Thank you very much, Alain, for your kind words and for chairing the selection committee. I must admit that I feel like a new student. I don't feel like a graduating student because there's a lot to do. So I envy the graduating students. They must feel relieved, although they have big challenges in front of them and big projects. But I also feel as a new staff member, and I am really happy with the welcome that I have received already from all the staff members of the ISU, most of them resident in Strasbourg, but not all. Some are in the United States. Thank you all, dear colleagues, for making me feel at home. I really look forward to working with you. Not day and night, only day, only normal working hours. I also feel like a new faculty member, even if I've had the privilege of being a faculty of ISU for many years, but it's really a very nice family. And I recognize some former faculty members. Thank you for coming today here. And of course, the former team. But my duty right now as a new staff member is to moderate the start of the next academic year. So I would like to now pass the floor to Professor Chris Welch, who will run us through the opening ceremony of Master of Space Studies of the International Space University 2019. And this, we see it also as an event that marks the new academic year of the ISU, with the Masters and all the other programs that we might discuss a little bit later. Professor Welch.
Thank you. Yes, right, thank you. It's now my privilege to invite the members of the new class to come down. We don't have them in a particular sequence, so you know who you are. The first one sitting at the front of the row, you know, that's closest, okay? Early test in self-organization here, okay? Come down, come to this microphone, and introduce yourself, taking no more than 30 seconds, because there are a lot of you, and ultimately people want to get to the reception, so yeah, do.
Good morning. My name is Miguel Chafin. I formerly studied aerospace engineering, finished up and getting a bachelor's in space studies, so this is the perfect next step for me. And I want to be an astronaut when I grow up. I think like most of us here, I think. And yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Charlotte Nassi. I'm French, and I studied law and European affairs for my bachelor. Then I studied public international law, where I discovered something most people never hear about, which is space law. So I'm currently completing my master's in space law and telecommunications, and I'm at ISU to get a more technical grasp of what I'm dealing with. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Véronique Mazzella Di Bosco Balsa Koken, but don't worry, you can just call me V. And I might take a little bit more than 30 seconds because my story starts way back in the 90s when I first heard about ISU, and I got a scholarship. But then I also had an offer to get married, so I chose marriage. And then, well, life went on, but I kept on studying. I got a master's in aeronautics. I had 2 wonderful sons. I volunteered for NASA as an educator. I became captain in the US Air Force Auxiliary. And then, well, I went to a space conference after writing a paper for Stanford, and I met whom I thought was the man of my dreams. So divorce, moved to Florida, started a space training company. We did parabolic flights, jet fighter flights. We prepared space tourists because I really believe in that. And so fast forward a little few years, after 10, I decided to retire. And then I ended up in Strasbourg because my brother was here. And I thought, what about that good old ISU? I wonder what they're up to. And so I took the tram, and I met Nassim Beauvais. Where is he? Nassim, thank you again, because he convinced me to reapply. And at the time, I was applying for a PhD in New Zealand. And he said, well, you know, if New Zealand doesn't work, then stay with us in Strasbourg. And so I'm here in Strasbourg. I just finished SSP. I survived. I had a little injury, but never mind that. But I mean, congratulations to all the ones who just graduated, and I hope to have a great time with MSS19, and thanks in advance to all the staff and faculty who will work with us all this year. So thank you again. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adi Rachamimov. I come from Israel. I'm a mechanical engineer. I started to get interested in space because of its phenomenal technological achievements, and I found out another very important aspect of unifying people and countries. And during the last 2 days, I found out it has bound in here some pretty inspirational people. So I'm very happy to be here and expecting the best.
Bonjour. I'm Scott Ritter from United States, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Thank you. I'm an engineer by training, but I work in academic medical research for University of Pennsylvania. And I come here to get more broad academic and knowledge in the space sector, and hope to apply that to what I do later. So thank you for having me. I'm excited to start.
Hi, my name's Adam Noel. I'm from England. My background is in physics and maths, and I'm working towards a career in space exploration and planetary science, and I'm looking forward to the year ahead.
Welcome, Adam.
Hi, my name is Daniel Rotkon. I'm from Finland. I'm a biologist specialized in ecotoxicology, and when you look at me, you have to kind of imagine a small child going around asking questions. And space is my treasure trove in that sense. Be it from like more practical questions, how do we colonize Mars, how do we produce food at Mars, or how do we fix the poisonous perchloride problem in Mars, going all the way to the fundamental questions, where do we come from, how did we come to be, and most of all, are we alone? Those are the questions that fuel my curiosity, and that's why I'm here. And as a final statement, ESA, early 2020s, I'll be ready. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jeremy Wayne Hirschberg. I come from the United States, Seattle area. And I did my education in neuroscience, psychology, and biology. And after graduating, I got a job at a small space technology startup. My boss was an alumni of the SSP. And part of my role there was coordinating the advisory council for the company. And so I got to see the network of ISU really in action. And that's kind of, that was my introduction to the community and why I'm here. And I think of the brain as one of the biggest mysteries when looking inward, and I think space is one of the biggest mysteries looking outward. Right? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Karan Patel. I come from the United States, specifically Princeton in New Jersey. I'm a mechanical engineer by trade, but I also work in various different startup companies. I came to ISU to further my education in space exploration and to push the human development in space exploration.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt McGrath, and I also come from the United States, specifically Chicago. My formal training is in biomedical engineering, but I've worked at John Deere for the past 4 years as a mechanical engineer. And however, after work, I would continue space studies. Eventually, I came across the book, How to Make a Spaceship, a book about Peter Diamandis, and that led me to this university. And so I'm looking forward to continue my exploration in the space sector. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name's Owen Toohey and I come from Ireland, Wicklow. My background is mechanical engineering and I have a master's in mechanical engineering with business. I've always had an interest in space when I was little, and after about 2 years of travel I realised it can be a realistic opportunity with ISU. So I'm looking forward to working with everyone in the year. Gur Malga.
Bonjour à tous, good morning everyone. My name is Salvatore Vivenzio, even if for some MSS18 students my name is Antonio, but it's okay. I'm from Napoli, a beautiful city in southern Italy. You should visit it as well, but I know. Anyway, my background, I have a master's degree in aerospace and astronautics engineering. I've worked in both aeronautics and space sector, but I'm passionate about space exploration, science. I also like to speak foreign languages and to deal with people from different cultures. And so I think ISU is the right place to be to share ideas with those beautiful guys, those beautiful minds and guys here and over there, and to make a step forward in my career in space sectors. Thank you.
Hello. I'm Aurelio. I'm coming from Rome, Italy. I did the bachelor degree in aerospace engineering, the master degree in space. So yeah, I kind of love space, yeah. That's why I'm here in ISU. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Farnoosh Shaini from California, United States. My background goes in information technology and in mathematics. I always lived with a keen sense of exploration my entire life, and I choose ISU because it unites the explorers from around the world to work together and innovate the technology to explore the next frontiers in space. Thank you for the opportunity.
Buenos dias. Good morning. My name is Stephanie Rocha. I come from the United States, but I have Mexican parents, so I'm Mexican American. My bachelor's is in mechanical engineering. I worked at NASA's Stennis Space Center at the cryogenics lab using or coding the autonomous control systems. And I'm really excited to be here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Abhishek Akash Diggewadi from India, and I recently graduated with Bachelor's in Electronics Engineering, and I'm here at ISU to grace the space. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Hello, I'm Monika Lipinska. I'm from Poland, and I'm an architect, but I design for the planet Earth and beyond, what makes me a space architect. Recently, I graduated from Lund University with a master's degree in architecture with specialization in spatial experiments. And during that time, I had the chance to do a couple of space projects of the lunar and Martian bases. But I also realized that it's not possible to do this kind of projects by yourself. So I started to look for a place where I can learn and collaborate with other people from different backgrounds, because architecture and especially space architecture has to respond to so many requirements and gathers all of the different backgrounds together. And the role of the architect is to put everything into one project. So that's how I found ISU. And the first time when I learned about it, I was so amazed. But it also felt like a great, almost unachievable dream. But now, after 3 years, I'm here, and so are you. So let's keep dreaming big. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mark Abifadil. I come from Canada and Lebanon. I graduated in mechanical engineering, and then I worked for 3 years in management consulting. And I decided to join ISU because I'd like to meet people that are as much as I am interested in space. Secondly, because I want to be able to learn as much as I can in the space sector. And third, to be able to work in the managerial and business side of the space sector. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Or Cohen, and I'm from Israel. I'm also Canadian. So I'm really, really excited to start the program and to start learning about all the different aspects of space, and to share this experience with an international group of people from all over the world, from different cultures and backgrounds that share the same passion for space exploration as me. So thank you very much, and I'm honored to be here, and best of luck to everyone. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Liu Jue. I come from China. I have both my bachelor's and master's degrees in economics, and I have been working for a space company for 3 years. So to attend the ISU MS program can be very helpful to further my academic study in space and also my career. It is an honor to be here to explore the space subject with the ISU and my brilliant classmates. Thank you.
Good morning. It's great to be here. My name is Andy Townsend. I'm from England, from a city called Lincoln.
I just want to start by saying big congratulations to the class of 2018. And thank you very much for your inspiring words earlier as well. I think they mean a lot. My background's in economics. I've spent the last 3 or 4 years working at IBM and PwC in tech consulting, really about bringing innovation to companies, especially in the art of artificial intelligence. I'm at ISU to really benefit from and experience the 3I education that it is so esteemed and known for. And I think this program is perfect for people like me that have had a long-held passion in the industry, but really want to know where they can basically apply themselves the best. It's great to meet you all. Thank you very much.
Bonjour. Hello, I'm Pierre Chachinski. I'm a European medical student with a French passport. At first, I want to say congratulations to the leader of my friends over there that made incredible work yesterday night. Okay. When I knew I had been enrolled in this master program, I feel like a young professional player in football who just signed with Real Madrid. I have no money, but I'm happier to be here rather than somewhere else doing something else but rich. I am a football fan, not because I'm a nationalist or communitarist, but because I like team spirit, national or international, and I like to share good times and challenges with my friends. I believe in God, but mathematics is my religion. I love my planet like my mother, and it's my priority to defend its interests, and that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Hi, good morning to everyone. My name is Fabio Zecca. I come from a tiny town in the very center of Italy, and I studied medicine and surgery. I practiced in Italy, in Czech Republic, in Germany as a thoracic surgeon and emergency doctor. And I'm here basically because one of the most, I think, important and influential people in the human history has been Ferdinand Magellan. In Portuguese is Fernão de Magalhães, and the famous Portuguese explorer that for the first time he led a fleet on a worldwide round trip for the very first time. And I think this is like the second chapter of this story. We are going even farther. The challenge is more difficult, it's harder, and this is like a fleet, like the crew, where everyone has got its own role, and all together I think we can achieve our target. So the space exploration. Thanks a lot to everybody.
Hello, my name is Pablo Melendres. I'm from Bolivia. I work on the Bolivian Space Agency for around 5 years, monitoring and controlling our first communication satellite. And now I'm glad to be here. I'm really looking to learn a lot and give the best of myself. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Liu Chenglan. I'm from Beijing of China. When I was in school, my major was Information and Communication Engineering. And when I graduated, I got a job in the China Astronaut Center. So I have been working there as an engineer in the field of mission planning of human spaceflight for several years. Okay, and for the reason for why I'm here, the first I want to broaden my knowledge in space, and second I want to improve my English, and third, but the most important, I want to make many new friends from different parts of the world. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Julie Bosmeyer, French. I graduated from bachelor degree in international relations. I did my graduation thesis about the relationship between the private space sector and the national agencies. Studying at ISU will allow me to learn more about space law and politics, subjects where countries cooperate the most. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ignacy. I've lived half my life in Russia and half my life in the UK. That's where the accent comes from. I've recently graduated from Imperial College London in Maths and Computer Science, and I've come to ISU obviously to learn how to make an army of robots to conquer the galaxy. By which I mean I want to expand my current skills, which are mainly robotics and AI oriented, so it's maths, into the new frontier, into the final frontier. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Mazen Al-Harbi from Sultanate of Oman, from the capital, Muscat. And my background is in IT, and I joined the army for the past 11 years, work as telecommunication engineer and organizer. Why space is I want to join the dream of my country and be there when it happens. And thank you so much. And best of luck for everyone who graduated, and looking forward for the new year. Thank you so much.
Well, lots of people. Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm from Meath in Ireland. My bachelor's was in psychology and my master's in clinical neuropsychology. Up until last week, I was a program supervisor for a service for adults with intellectual disabilities. But last year, I sort of realized life is too short and I wanted to see if I could get actively involved in an area I love. So I ended up here. So, brilliant. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm from England. My background is in chemistry, and I've done a little bit of work with NASA, looking at astrochemistry and the chemistry of meteorites. So I'd really love to continue doing some of that work, and I'm hoping this course is going to help me get a really cool job. Thanks.
Good morning, kia ora. I'm Kelly and I'm from New Zealand. I'm a mechanical engineer by training, but I've been working in engineering consultancy services, essentially in chemical storage, delivery improvement, and project management. At university, I did a lot of work with advanced materials engineering, and that's why I'm here.
Hello everyone, my name is Katie Harris. I'm originally from St. John's, Newfoundland, and I've just graduated from the University of Toronto with a double major in astrophysics and physics and a minor in anthropology. My interests lie at the intersection of the different aspects of space, specifically in developing technology that's beneficial to both space and medicine. So I'm looking forward to being here and learning from a diverse range of lecturers and professors and from my remarkable classmates. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Chen Tongtong. I come from Beijing, China. Now I'm a research assistant in Beijing Institution of Checking and Telecommunications Technology. My major is artificial intelligence and pattern recognition. As we all know, ISU is a famous university in the field of space. So I'm very glad to study here, and I believe that it can broaden my horizon, and I can also make many new friends with different culture and education background. I also believe that my specialty can give inspirations to all my classmates. That's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Cody. I'm from Toronto, Canada. I received a bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering and enjoyed it so much that I decided to do a master's in it as well at U of T. My research is particularly focused on propulsion and combustion there. The reason I came to ISU is mostly because of its space-specific studies, where I wish to learn more about space propulsion in particular. And I'm looking forward to contributing to and learning from the rest of my MSS19 class. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Khan and I'm from Canada. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering and my master's in aerospace engineering at the University of Toronto. And I came to ISU in order to further my knowledge in space, specifically in bioastronautics. And I look forward to meeting you all. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jiang Zhuhui. I come from China. I'm an engineer and study on the cloud and the sea surface remote sensing. It's my great honor to join in the ISU. Thank you.
So thank you very much to the incoming class of MSS19 for those introductions. Time will pass quickly and before you know it, you'll have been back down here graduating a year from now. We hear about MSS18 and their achievements and the challenges for the future, and we've heard about the dreams and aspirations of MSS19. MSS18 have worked hard. I'm sure that MSS19 will also work hard. But there's one piece of the jigsaw missing, okay? And that is the staff of ISU. We've heard about what people have achieved here. We've heard why they've come here. But ISU isn't just this building. It's the people. It's the faculty. It's all the staff, whatever they do for ISU. And so at this point, I would like to recognize all the staff. At the risk of embarrassing them, I would invite them all to stand up so everybody knows who they are. I can see one or two of them are giving me hard looks, but as you will have gathered, we have a new member of staff joining us as president. But I'd also like to especially welcome Dr. Taiwo Tejumula, who literally has just joined us 2 days ago. And he will be leading the space applications area. So that concludes the welcoming of the MSS19 and the opening. So I will now pass back to my new boss.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. I would like to invite a former colleague of mine now to join me here, please. I really feel at home when I have former colleagues from the French Space Agency, CNES. Monsieur Lionel Suchet is, as you heard from Walter Peters, the Chief Operating Officer. And I think you are also here a little bit in your role of mentor or parrain of the graduating group of students. Welcome. Thank you very much for being with us.
Good morning, I'm Lionel from France. And my background is mathematics and physics. I've learned also a little space for 30 years. Especially in managed space flights, and then all aspects, other aspects in space, including innovation at Atlas, and now I'm Director General of CNES. So if you agree, I will stay with you with MSS19 to make new friends in space, because we have never enough space, friends in space communities, and we have to build this cooperation for the future.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Madame la Ministre, Monsieur le Consul, Mrs. Vice Chancellor, dear Pascal, Mesdames et Messieurs les élus, Mr. President, dear alumni, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, chers amis. It's a great honor to be with you today on behalf of CNES, the French Space Agency. Jean-Yves Le Gall, our president, apologizes for being absent, but is currently finalizing bilateral cooperation with India in the Bangalore Space Expo. And we all know here how international cooperation is more and more strategic and important in space. One of the main goals, I think, of ISU is to build the future of this so important international cooperation. It's also with great pleasure that I would like to share with you some words on France and Europe's perspectives on recent trends in space. Space technologies and space systems are facing an unprecedented transformation. This domain, space domain, and all space agencies around the world have been built on two strategic and state-based pillars, which are science and defense. These subjects are still very important, and Alain mentioned it, but in addition, now, digital revolutions linked to more and more space data acquired in all wavelengths all around the planet open new and powerful possibilities to answer a large number of economic and social challenges. Rail transport, automobile transport, healthcare, agriculture, fisheries, security, land planning and combating pollution are just some of the areas where CNES has signed partnerships and forged contracts in the past 2 years. Tomorrow, space will be everywhere. As a result, space is entering a new age of worldwide open competition as a tool for strategic economic challenges. This phenomenon, usually called new space, is not something strange happening in a single place in the planet, across the Atlantic Ocean, near the Pacific Ocean, if you see what I mean, and that we could see here only from the outside. We have in Europe all the talents and competencies to build an efficient future for space activities. Our high schools and universities, research labs, industries and agencies are at top world level, but to stay at this level for everywhere in the coming years will be very challenging because of the new actors' activities and willingness, and it is a good thing for space. I have no doubt, dear current and future graduates, and anywhere you come from, that your skill and enthusiasm, so that, will be welcome and more appreciated in this strategic race. Strategic race with, of course, hard competition between us, but also, and it is very important, strong cooperation within the space family. CNES, in close cooperation with DLR and other main partners, is proud to play a key role in the fast-moving international space area. Innovation drives everything CNES did and does from the beginning of its history. But we have to accelerate, and this is why we have revamped our organization with 4 new directorates focused on innovation, international relations, digital technologies, and of course, orbital systems. This new organization is intended to further boost our performance while continuing to move forward and innovate with all space stakeholders. CNES is also deeply involved in ISU development since the beginning. As you know, CNES is member of the Board of Trustees, and a convention was signed in December 2016 with ISU in order to formalize our continuous financial and educational supports. Walter mentioned it, but allow me to introduce Christophe Venet. Please stand up, Christophe. The new CNES member of the Board of Trustees, Donato Giorgi, the previous one, has taken new responsibilities to promote space activities as a CNES representative in the Middle East. And Christophe, in CNES, is in charge of all European and international cooperation. Furthermore, 3 CNES experts are members of the ISU and invited lecturers team. I know they really appreciate to share their knowledge with the students and grow rich from students' dynamism and questioning. So please, the new students, don't hesitate to challenge them. Beyond our participation in ISU activities, CNES is engaged in a close cooperation with the regional authorities in France. Dear Mrs. Strootman, as Jean-Yves told you in March, CNES has supported your initiative concerning the Rhine Space Booster and your implication in ESABIC Sud France. Yes, you have to all know here that speaking about space, Strasbourg is in the south of France. But you know, it is a curious specificity of microgravity. In ISS, we don't have up and down. So in France, in space, we don't have south and north. It's all together. And these two structures, systems, Rhine Space Booster and ESABIC Sud France, are very important for helping emerging new space actors. So we greet, Mrs. Strootman, your determination and your commitment on this subject, and also for the development and the continuation of ISU activities here in Strasbourg. Merci. Be confident, and that is true also for institutional and economic actors here today, that in the will of CNES to be an active and reliable partner in this initiative. Before leaving the floor, I would like to congratulate Walter Peters for his tremendous action for ISU. The space institutions can be proud of the efficiency and the quality of the actions implemented under your tenure, Walter. I had no doubt about your ability to succeed after having worked with you in a very effective and positive way when we both worked for manned spaceflight, especially in Russia, as you mentioned. CNES really hopes ISU can still benefit from your support and expertise in the future. So thanks a lot, Walter, and welcome, Juan del Dalmo. Well known in the space family, as you saw, CNES appreciated Juan when he worked in Kourou as Director des Opérations, and then Head of Institutional and Communication Department. And again, we have no doubt about the future of ISU thanks to Juan's competencies, the commitment of the governance, educational and administrative staff, and all this within a dynamic Eurométropole. So, Ad Astra, thanks for your attention. Thank you.
Bravo. Merci beaucoup. Merci. Merci beaucoup, Lionel. We have learned from you that there is no north and no south. We're all here, allow me to say, on planet Earth. And what I've also learned about this part of planet Earth is that we are in a beautiful metropolis of about 30, maybe 33 townships that decided to join into one metropolis called Strasbourg Eurométropole. And this means today about 500,000 people. I'd like to invite the Vice Chair of Eurométropole Strasbourg, Madame Catherine Trautmann, to speak to you.
I want first to say some hellos to the Vice Chancellor, dear Pascal Ehrenfreund, to Mr. Suchet, Vice President, or Delegate President or Director, I don't know, and the team of CNES, and also the two Presidents and dear Mr. Wagner, representative of the board, Monsieur le Consul de Chine, and dear students and families who are present here for this very important moment in which there is the experience of the former students and all the hopes and the intentions, ambitions of the new ones. Dear Chris Welsh, where are you? Here. It's also challenging for you because each time we see the diversity, the experience, and also the capacities of all the students. And being in Strasbourg, I have the pleasure to make a sort of tour of the Tour de la Terre, tour around the world, with all the representatives of so many countries. As past Minister of Culture, I'm very fond of the spirit of ISU because it's very important to see that all the students come with their backgrounds, with their culture, with their experience of their nations, but work together and build an international community. And this is possible here in Strasbourg. And it was our hope, François Becker, my friend, and also Patrick Coindet, Hubert Curien, all these old ones. Hubert is dead, but it was sort of, I don't know, a sort of ideal to have this capacity to say, with the challenge of 3 students of Houston, when we met the first space campus in Strasbourg in '89, I was just elected as a mayor, and my friends said, why not? We can propose that ISU can have a sort of basis, constant basis in Strasbourg. And I said, yes, why not? We do it. And we made it. But this is sometimes difficult to have this capacity to find an evolution when ISU was a little thing at the beginning, and now such a university recognized and very well known throughout the world. So I want to express my gratitude to Walter Peters, the now former president, and all my wishes to Juan de Dalmau. He was the one who was the delegate of the students in '89 and gave me a book of Tintin. If you know Tintin, very Belgian hero. Dear Walter, you are Belgian. You are not Tintin, but perhaps, you know, in the next steps, we will think to that. So ISU was based in Strasbourg. We tried to find an evolution. You are present in a building in which we will invest more, because we want also to have you know, a sort of a nursery for new startups with the booster and the ESA Big Sud, which will be based in ISU, nearby the School of Informatics and all digital science, nearby, with a new building which will be also arranged to boost our priority on in artificial intelligence. We want to be one of the main places with the support of the region, and this will be very useful to connect all the capacities and possibilities we have, as we did with the support of Walter and all the team in ISU for different experiences with the university around the question of gas and life, you know, origin perhaps in Mars, and also other topics, as it was done about MMARS-1. You will learn about this experience, and Hydra-1, which is the first step of new possibilities. So the 3 main topics of the booster is around mobilities. Mobility is one sector which is a booster of innovation. And we cross through space, you know, knowledge and capacity technologies, what is also in science, in medicine, medical technologies. And we have a very big project, which is one of the main ones for innovation about health, about sport. And this mobility challenge is one of the first, you know, specialities in Strasbourg. You will know use the tramway and some autonomous vehicle very soon. And the second one is about environmental issues, and especially water. You know that we have, perhaps you know it, the biggest phreatic water in Europe, but this is very precious. We have the Rhine, which is a nature provider of water, and this phreatic water. But it's also energy provider and also transport provider. So the link between the level of the water on the Rhine and the risk of floods, all the problems we can have now in environment, and Pascal could show this dry, you know, country which was so awful to see. We have the chance to have water, but we see also new challenges. So we need to work very much together, because the planet Earth is very fragile. And having the capacities with the space technologies, we will be really helped with this access to data in the booster with new startups. And the third one is, and I think to the lady who is diplomed in architecture, there is a special cooperation with the School of Architecture in Strasbourg for extreme habitat and also the challenge of space. So you will be at home in Strasbourg. Can I say something about also Thomas Pesquet? Thomas Pesquet was, as you know, one of the members of the team in the International Space Station. And one of our friends and friend of ISU had the idea to send to Thomas Pesquet, who is also a musician, a saxophone. The problem is you cannot have a big saxophone in the station. So we had to ask, the company to build a little one. But the problem was that there was never a music instrument in the space station. What was the reaction? So we needed psychologists. We needed to know if it was perhaps a danger because of the material of the saxophone and so on. So it was not so easy, and Walter knows very well this challenge. But this was a sort of new step to have also music culture with instruments in space. Why not? We can live in space, and I'm very fond of a new, horizon, which is civil space, and I saw that many of you new students are very interested and motivated by that. And women in space. I want to thank the special efforts of ISU to welcome all these talentless women coming to the performance of the master. Thank you. It's not so evident. I mill it for years to see women in transport questions, mobility questions, of course in science, innovation, driving companies like CEOs and talentless CEOs. So you can know that you have in Strasbourg friends, families who can welcome you. If you have problems, we are present here. Michel Aibel is a collaborator of the Eurometropole. Stand up, Michel. And we have Hervé Krieger. Stand up, Hervé. Specialist for mobilities. And one of the team of the booster experience and project. So, Walter, you were in this period very precious. And I want that you can know that he was always an advocate, a sort of a person who spoke about ISU so strongly, with such a performance, that everything could be solved with good negotiation with Walter. And one of his qualities is also to be very strongly linked to the students and having a vision of the role of alumni. So thank you very much, Walter. That's why we wanted to keep you as a senior advisor and a present in all the development of Booster, and is a big experience, because you know many people, you have this, if I can say, generosity for your engagement in space questions, and such an experience, but you like so much to transmit. And I saw you with little boys and girls of 8 being so fascinated, and they thought to this person, Walter is a sort of hero of the little children in Strasbourg, because he had such a way to speak that at 10 o'clock in the evening he was still present with all the companies coming visiting ISU. So thank you for this transmission of this virus, very positive virus for space. So I want to finish and to say 30 years, it will be a very big anniversary next year, but congratulations for the students who have now this key for new adventures. I hope that you will be very successful, very proud of this period of work and formation, because it's also an engagement of all the team of professors, of all the team of researchers, and all the team for the life, everyday life of ISU. We in Strasbourg, we are proud of you, and we are very thankful to see so many people coming with this vision of this international flavor you can find in Strasbourg with, I finish on that, a very human aspect. Space is still the world in which we live. And it's not just only about technologies or robotics. It will be a new step with robotics and more robotics. But it must be kept as a human shared challenge. We had this, project of peace after war with the Council of Europe and the European Parliament here in Strasbourg. And we millet for this vision of a shared ambition for the world. It's a question of governance, it's a question of cooperation, and we like cooperation with our friends of Germany just beside. We wanted to take out the border, the past border, and to have more and more common space. Living at half parts of our geographical situation was a pity. Now we work with 9 ports, Renan ports, we work with the European agglomeration, and we work even with the Swiss if they are not part of the European Union. So, welcome to Indian, to Colombian, to all your origins and personalities. I'm very glad to see you today and to know you during the year in a better way and in a more profound capacity. Network in ISU is one of the key of the success, and you are right, you build it now for the new students. So good luck, and never say never. You will achieve.
Bravo, merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, Madame Catherine Trautmann. You have given us many more reasons about why we're here and why we all decided to join this family. I've learned about a new reason that you mentioned and that I think did not exist 1 year ago. And that's the reason for startup businesses to not only have an idea, but take advantage of the resources that will be very soon available to them here. And as you all probably know, this afternoon there's a public event to give kickoff to this new entrepreneurship initiative. Thank you very much for being with us and for being the engine, in the feminine sense of the word, the engine of all these things that are happening here since 30 years, you mentioned when we first met in 1989. And talking about reasons for us to be here, I'd like to tell you a little story that will explain why I decided to remain an active member of the ISU family. When I applied to the ISU SSP program, I was a relatively young engineer, 30 years old, working for the French Space Agency in Kourou, French Guiana. And I was privileged to obtain a scholarship, a joint scholarship from CNES and from ESA, European Space Agency, to come to ISU's #2 summer session that happened here. And what I discovered during this ISU program, and for me it was the first time I experienced this type of environment where I learned that you can have an idea and you can make it happen. For me it was the first time I saw a university where you are really encouraged and you are invited to have ideas and make them a reality. It can be a small one. For example, organizing a live satellite transmission from French Guiana to show a launch here, an Ariane rocket launch. 1989, no internet. So it was a bit more complex. But with the help of people who would agree with the idea and some sponsors, we did have a live launch party during the ISU program. It can be other ideas. Back home, you might think, why don't we bring some of this ISU spirit to my hometown? And I was lucky enough to persuade a few people in my hometown of Barcelona to discover about ISU and eventually host one of their itinerant programs there. You can think of many other things. You can decide to become a member of the ISU teaching team if you like teaching. And I hope that the new class will learn and enjoy sharing knowledge. And why not becoming a member of the ISU faculty in the future? Other ideas of why we're here, and we heard them from the two class members, Yuan and her classmate who has all these first names. I remember his family, Valencia. What is the first name that you prefer? René. So thank you to René and to Yuan for a very nice valedictorian presentation. You remember they emphasized the multidisciplinarity and the interdisciplinarity of the ISU. And as we by now know, this is really unique. And that might be the reason for many of us, to not only join, realize that the interdisciplinarity is what makes projects today successful, in space or elsewhere. And I'm always amazed by the initiatives and the achievements that we see all over the world by ISU alumni. You see, in many alumni initiatives, after the years, you realize they had a plan. They came here because they wanted to learn about this interdisciplinarity, to create their new project, to persuade their employer, or to set up their own startup, because they knew how to link. They understood how people from other educational backgrounds think and work. And that's unique. And that's, at the same time, a challenge for me, if you allow me to speak about myself. Walter is helping with this, and I hope he will continue helping us. One of the priorities that the Board of Trustees has given us is to obtain And when you look at the educational systems in different countries, you realize that you have to present a file for an accreditation in one branch. No branch, no accreditation. So maybe we will have to place some ISU alumni in the ministries of education who will help us change the rules. And that would be the first time it happens. I said change the rules, not forget the rules or cut corners. So the first step is to change the rules, and then you can apply them and do what your idea is. And I repeat, I'm amazed by things alumni can achieve. And if you look at some of the alumni initiatives, they have succeeded in part because they went to other alumni and invited them to join their teams. It's not a rule, but it happens very often. So this is just starting students of the masters. Be aware if an alumna or an alumnus approaches you with a new idea, they might want to recruit you. Why not? Why not? What we also see is the progressive realization of the initial vision of our founders. And I want to talk about the ISU founders at the very end. But in their of international peaceful cooperation for space education. And the word civilian and peaceful was used by Katrin Trautmann as well. And they also envisioned learning about space on Earth and in space. And I think this year, for the first time, let me get closer to Chris Welch, because he represents a team of students and faculty members and student researchers who have, I believe, for the first time, succeeded founders to have space learning in space. And you might have seen it on the news. You will see it again in the news before the end of this year with the next launch of an experiment conceived, designed, built, and tested here in collaboration between the ISU team and with partners that include local, the University of Strasbourg and some other partners here. So I look forward to sharing the excitement with all of you for the next launch of an experiment to the International Space Station that will carry some seeds and that I hope can help us not only advance in the knowledge of how plants grow in space and how that can help us with plant growth on Earth, but also and involving young children in watching how these plants grow in space and how they grow in their courtyard. Members of your research group, and all of their names are engraved and they are now flying on board the space station. So that's maybe a small beginning of the campus in space. But we talk about what we do on Earth. And we're all familiar, of course, with the master's programs. But on Earth, as you know, the ISU is working on space course, just a one-week course that happens twice per year, once in Strasbourg, once in Seattle, Washington State. It's for professionals who have a number of years of experience and who are new to the space field. There is, of course, the itinerant space studies program that takes 2 months in different parts of the world. And what is interesting to see is that the SSP program will be in Strasbourg in the summer of 2019, as it does come back home every 4 years. So we look forward to that very much. Now, what will happen with this SSP program in the year 2020 is that it will be hosted in China, in the city of Shenzhen, by a number of Chinese institutions, both public and private. And we really look forward to having a group of 100 plus participants, as we call them, spending 2 months in Shenzhen, which is the city of innovation in China. It's the city that is opening to the world. And members over there that space companies and space institutes in Shenzhen are really open to hosting students, researchers, and open to industrial collaborations with the rest of the world. So you see that ISU is to fruition. ISU is an individual's idea becomes a much, much stronger idea if it is a team's idea. And it can be the idea of a small team. But I think today we realize that the team is very, very large. And if you have the idea of coming to study and learn at ISU, you need a team. For example, you need people to help you pay the tuition. That's a team effort. It's very rarely an individual's effort. And with this, I would like to pay tribute to the family members who are here with us, because we know we know that many of you are here in a big part because of the help of your families, because they believe, they're convinced that it was a good choice. Thank you for coming, especially those who had to make a long trip for today. The team includes, as Chris Welch mentioned, the ISU staff. And I would like to tell you a little story. I took a walk around campus with one of my new colleagues here. I'm trying to do this with every colleague. And one of them was Nicolas Moncusi. Are you somewhere visible? Yeah, Nicolas behind the glass there. It was a very, very hot day, so we went out for a walk. And after a while, I said to Nicolas, sorry, my shoes are... take my shoes off. So we both took our shoes off and continued our walk barefoot. Thank you, Nicolas, for joining me in the barefoot walk. I hope you recovered from that. You're okay. And what we did when we arrived back to the building, we chose a special location to put our shoes on again. There is a plaque on the floor in the honor of one of the 3 ISU founders who unfortunately has passed away, and his remnants are buried there. So I would like that you find a moment anytime to also pay a tribute to an idea that became a stronger idea because it became a team's idea. And that was the idea of you. Thank you very much. I hope you will have the chance of meeting the other ISU founders, Bob and
because they really had a very, very good vision. Hello, hello, hello. It works, it works. I'm sure that Todd Hawley is hearing us, even without the microphone. So I'm concluding here. Thank you, Joel. I'm concluding here with an invitation for us to think about strong ideas that become much stronger ideas if they are part of a team. And now I need to explain what will happen in the next couple of hours. First, there is lunch reception waiting for us just in the Pioneers Hall. If you look up from the Pioneers Hall, you might find a photo of the 3 ISU founders hanging in a visible place. After the lunch, around 2 p.m. or 2:15, there is a guided tour of a nearby organization called CERTIT. And especially for our guests, you are welcome to approach us if you would like to have a tour of this company here on campus. I think we will walk there. That specializes in remote sensing. The graduating students know CERTIT very well. So that company uses satellite imagery to produce valuable information for a variety of uses in civil protection, in agriculture, etc. But before we go out for lunch, I would like to invite Nikolai, if he's there, or one of his IT colleagues, to show a video that has been recorded by an alumnus of the ISU Master's Program. I will give you a sign, thank you. An alumnus of the ISU Master's Program, Michael Davis, from year 1. Was that your promotion? Okay, but you know Michael, of course, yes. Michael is one of those alumni who had an idea. His idea was to make space happen in Australia, his home country. So step one in his roadmap was to do the masters. And then he has made a series of other steps that included bringing the SSP program to his hometown of Adelaide, setting up a recurrent educational program that is now a solid, long-standing partnership between ISU and the University of South Australia. Another step Michael Davis managed with a team is to bring the world's largest space conference, the International Astronautical Congress, IAC, to his hometown. This happened last year. And this year it goes to Bremen. It will be even bigger. So I invite you to listen to this message that comes via one of the 40 satellites that Alain mentioned. So please accept the quality of the video, but it's because it comes via space. And it is a special message from Michael to Walter Peters. Let's give him a very loud applause.
Dear Walter, this is a message on behalf of all of the staff, alumni and supporters of the Southern Hemisphere Space Studies program to wish you well and to thank you for your wonderful contribution to ISU and to our program. It's been a great pleasure working with you, and you have been a staunch supporter of our program since the beginning. You have attended each year in the middle of your Christmas vacation and winter vacation in order to come and experience 40 degrees or more of Adelaide summer weather in order to teach and in order to add to the life of our program. And it's been a great pleasure to have you involved. We know that you will continue in your role as a distinguished member of the ISU faculty, and we actually look forward to welcoming you again this January at SHSSP19. Once again, on behalf of everyone in Adelaide, congratulations and thank you.
Walter, would you like to lead the way now to the Pioneers Hall, just in case some of us get lost? Let's follow Walter. Thank you very much for being with us.